The comments that you made to Lunari, having a passy and holding a plushie while you
Okay, what if I told you me and her kind of we had an emotional connection, and that is why she allowed me to make those comments towards her.
That nauseating voice belongs to BabyCakes, also known as Cutie Trash or Manic Panic on VRChat, a free-to-play, massive online social platform using virtual reality headsets. He's in early 30s and has been one of the most controversial figures in the VRChat community for years. BabyCakes has been caught in multiple allegations of minors, especially on VRChat where he talks to them.
How do you want Daddy to you? You want me to you in the bed, or do you want me to you in the crib?
His entire platform is designed specifically to give him access to kids through colorful video edits and rhymes.
Yeah, you want Mary Had a Little Lamb? Yeah, you love Mary Had a Little Lamb. Yeah, you love it. Okay. Mary had a little lamb she kept in her backyard. When she took her off, his woolly got hide.
And somehow, despite being called out for his illegal behavior, he still didn't care to admit that he was wrong.
What people fail to understand is all of it was consensual.
And what's worse, he tried to cover up by interviewing and shaming other predators. In this video, we'll go through all of BabyCakes' crimes and expose him for the predator that he truly is. Who is BabyCakes, and what horror has he committed in the world of virtual reality? Buckle up, because this is a very bad and disgusting ride. BabyCakes, who goes by Manic Panic on VRChat, is an adult man who has been a fixture of the VRChat community for a long time. VRChat is a platform that allows users to interact with others with user-created 3D avatars and worlds. BabyCakes was so embroiled in this community, and not in a good way. Most people only knew him because of his terrible behavior with younger members of the community. Instead of making content for people his age, he always tried to frame it in a setting that's tailored to kids. For example, his YouTube channel, which is a small space with a little over 800 subscribers, has a lot of videos with children's themes. Some of his videos are in the form of colorful thumbnails that look like storybook covers, with children having fun in a playing ground, and some, like this one, have innocent titles that can make a child click to watch. This particular video is titled Nursery Rhymes with BabyCakes. Although his spooky clown avatar could tell you the video is anything but good, any child who doesn't know better would still click on it. And guess what? The rhymes in the video are twisted and dirty. BabyCakes presented graphic versions of some classic nursery rhymes like Mary Had a Little Lamb, Little Bo Peep, and Hickory Dickory Dock. His introduction for Mary, Had a Little Lamb, had a joke.
Yeah, you want Mary Had a Little Lamb? Yeah, you love Mary Had a Little Lamb. Yeah, you love it. Okay. Mary had a little lamb she kept in her backyard. When she took her off, his woolly got hide.
Similarly, his rendition of Little Bo Peep had some lyrics about the little girl getting with her sheep and horse. This is a video BabyCakes uploaded himself in February 2026. This was something he sat down, filmed, edited, and chose to put on the internet for his viewers, who he generally suggests are mature and above the age of 18. Yet despite the content warning, he still addressed his content to young people, using the words kids and children multiple times. The aesthetic of the video is colorful and the background music is light, all of which are fit for children's shows. And the worst part is that his main audience in the video are young children who whine and cry after he tells his awful rhymes. This is how BabyCakes broadcasts his behavior with children on his own platform. The sick nursery rhyme video has less than 400 views and close to 40 likes, which by the way is kind of upsetting that he even had reception at all. Here's what you do need to understand about BabyCakes. You see, he is someone who operates with a very specific playbook. He finds vulnerable people and works his way into their lives. He tries to create a dynamic where he's the safe person by calling himself a father figure and builds trust slowly. This is exactly what it's all about, and that was primarily what BabyCakes was about. A YouTube creator named FFI had been the first to expose BabyCakes in the early 2025. He had uploaded one video and recorded a livestream session in February 2025, but had to take them down, partly for privacy reasons, and also because BabyCakes and his network mass reported him. FFI had come to know about the BabyCakes in January 2025 through a VRChat user named Molly. Molly had reached out to him after hearing rumors that BabyCakes, who went by the name of one of his alt accounts, Cutie Trash, had been an 8-year-old, and most notably, a 16-year-old named Lunari. It was clear that BabyCakes knew that Lunari was a child. He referred to her as a baby and even referred to himself as a depraved person. And as if that wasn't awful enough, he began to react to the noise Lunari was making as he continued to talk to her. Then in his signature performance, he began to call himself Daddy while talking to little Lunari in a disgusting tone. And here comes the crazy part. BabyCakes suggested that she held a plushie and a pacifier while he got with her. He did all this on a 10-minute stream that Molly recorded, and he didn't care that his audience were listening to them.
I don't know, they just want to watch me you. I don't care if you watch. I'm not gonna in my in public, but I'm not gonna in public.
And before we go further into the story, I need a small favor from you. I've started posting these deep dives on Spotify as well, so if you prefer listening instead of watching, or you just want to support me, make sure to follow me there. The link to my Spotify is in the description. When Molly tried confronting him about it herself, BabyCakes has responded by crashing her VRChat instance over and over until she gave up. That was when she reached out to FFI for help. The recording Molly had gathered was very incriminating. It revealed more. Instances where the BabyCakes kept asking Lunari increasingly questions.
These babies like to naughty things. Eat it, don't you? Eat it, don't you? Wanna show daddy what you too? Can come together.
These questions fell into another level of degeneracy when he began hinting at getting with her in a crib, and even calling her a little girl.
How do you want daddy to you? You want me to you in the bed? Or you want me to you in the crib?
Again, remember that BabyCakes was in his early 30s and Lunari was 16. These are not good conversations to have with a minor, and they are certainly inappropriate to have online. BabyCakes was aware that he was crossing the line with his disgusting advances, and this is why he instructed her not to tell anyone.
Just don't tell anyone, please. I want to get canceled. Well, I mean, I can't really get canceled anymore.
In response to the video, a user named Bunny confronted BabyCakes to know why he had been so forward with Lunari despite knowing that she was a child.
Having a passy and holding a plushie while you
BabyCakes responded first by claiming that people were into that kind of content.
No reason for that, people are into it.
And then he excused his behavior by straight up admitting that he and Lunari are intimate because they established an emotional connection.
You want to know why I made those comments towards Lunari?
I do.
Okay, what if I told you me and her kind of we had an emotional connection, and that is why she allowed me to make those comments towards her, and I always asked her if she was comfortable.
You can tell from his voice that BabyCakes was a man without a conscience. To him, what he was doing with Lunari, also known as, was not bad or immoral. They were just two people who had established a connection. He even tried to share the blame with Lunari, saying that their business was consensual and Lunari had given him mixed signals.
What people fail to understand is all of it was consensual.
16 is not age of consent. Even if she did consent, if her parents did not consent, then it is statutory.
I know, but like I said, I received mixed messages about a lot of things.
It's disturbing no matter how you look at it. It's like he couldn't be bothered by how grave the situation was for him. Child is a criminal offense that is punishable by 10 to 15 years of imprisonment in certain jurisdictions. Yet BabyCakes had not only revealed to the world that he had partaken in such a crime, but he also made light of the situation, and more people called him out on this behavior. There's a recording from a confrontation that happened in what appears to be a VRChat instance, where multiple people from BabyCakes' former community gathered to address him directly. One person straight up called him a PDF file.
Even if you just flirted with a person you know is under 18, that is, you're a file.
BabyCakes interjected by saying that he was merely love-bombing and not manipulating Lunari. In his mind's eye, this was something he grew up trying to do, since he wasn't loved enough as a child. The conversation also revealed BabyCakes' habits of harassing and blocking people he believed were his enemies. Lunari herself, who was present in the chat, attested to the fact that BabyCakes banned people he didn't like.
You literally banned anybody you didn't like, for no apparent reason.
Another layer of this story comes from another recording where BabyCakes reports a 17-year-old to his mother for bullying him.
What? Mommy, that's the one bullying me. Oh!
Really? You're 30 years old and you think I'm bullying you? Really? You're 30 years old and you're bullying a 17-year-old? I'm not black. What? I care for this. You've been me for 10 months. Have you told your mom about that?
This person detailed the harassment campaign that BabyCakes had allegedly run against her. He had banned 24 of her accounts amongst other accusations that she listed out in one breath.
He literally got 24 of my accounts banned me again because he thought I was stealing money from a 12-year-old.
She also mentioned that he had threatened to do unsettling things to her body.
You know he my body, by the way, right? You know your son did that?
His parents didn't even try to reprimand him. Instead, they told her to stay away from him, as if she was the one causing the problem.
Well, guess what? It actually takes two. It actually takes two people.
Two to tango. I'm not new.
From this interaction, it was obvious that BabyCakes was surrounded by a system that enabled his behavior. If his own mother couldn't control him or call him out for his wrongdoings at age 30, then he was more or less a disaster waiting to happen. And the disturbing part was that he did cause trouble, not just for Lunari and this aggrieved 17-year-old, but also for other young victims. Another child named Brian also fell into BabyCakes' traps. Brian was 15 years old at the time, and BabyCakes, who operated under the username HelloShitty, was fully aware of his age. Yet despite confirming this, BabyCakes began to send Brian explicit My Little Pony content on Discord. YouTube creator FFI dove into BabyCakes' story to get a full picture of the degenerate that had been toying with minors. This was when he uploaded his first video about BabyCakes, the one that later got taken down. In response, BabyCakes took to his YouTube channel in March 2025 to address the issues surrounding his name on VRChat, and referred to the whole saga as stupid, fraudulent accusations that had gone on long enough. The 39-minute video opened with BabyCakes announcing that he was coming out of retirement to address the situation, and this immediately tells you the energy we're dealing with here.
Look, hello internet people. I literally had to come out of retirement for this one because of how stupid this is getting.
From his tone, you can tell that he wasn't here to render an apology or come clean. BabyCakes wanted to sling excuses and play victim as always. His core argument was that everything was taken out of context, and he was framed by people who had formed a hate group against him.
Look, I get it. There's a bunch of cancel videos about me, and it's all been spearheaded by my hate group. Did any of you stop to think where these videos and so-called evidences come from? No, you didn't do anything. You didn't look into anything, and all of it's been taken completely out of context.
It makes you wonder how exactly everything BabyCakes was caught doing was taken out of context. What context would make it okay for an adult man to speak inappropriately with a child, even after they had been called out for it? What context are we missing that makes any of this better? He went further by claiming that Lunari was paid to frame him.
No, I literally have the video of her recording herself telling me she framed me.
BabyCakes also went after FFI personally in the video, accusing him of only caring about money. He claimed that FFI had fabricated content for views, and never genuinely cared about child safety.
He's never once cared about anything, he only cares about the money. He's always cared about the money, and I can prove it. He about not being able to monetize it, he about needing more donations, and then he made his Discord pay only. He only cared about the money.
He also made the claim that FFI used a real child in his investigation, which he framed as a far worse offense than anything BabyCakes himself did. BabyCakes' sense of justice and child protection was unnecessary, because in the 39-minute long video, he never really spoke about what was important, the incriminating recording that Molly had made of him and Lunari. He never addressed a single piece of actual footage or explained any of the specific clips. He didn't even provide any coherent alternative account of what was happening in those recordings. All BabyCakes did in his own response video was yell about how everyone was out to get him. FFI didn't pay him any mind, and in June 2025, he uploaded the now available footage which documents much about BabyCakes and his habits. FFI's revelations came from first-hand information that he had gathered from infiltrating BabyCakes servers 2 months prior by pretending to be a minor. Apparently BabyCakes ran a VRChat group called the Toy Box. And the Toy Box wasn't just some casual hangout server. It was a way for BabyCakes to have a steady stream of young, vulnerable people coming directly to him in an environment where he was in charge of. The group was open to diverse groups of people, including the mentally ill ones, and the rules were simple. Just abide by the VRChat's terms of service, which were guidelines governing all VRChat members. Part of these guidelines was the eligibility clause, which sets the minimum age for VRChat to 13 years. Now, why would a 30-plus adult create a group inviting all kinds of people from 13 and above? This setup was already disturbing to begin with. As the owner of the group, BabyCakes made himself the overall head and referred to himself as Daddy. In a way, this authoritative setting made it possible for him to instruct them to do his bidding. As FFI put it, the children who joined were manipulated to think that certain inappropriate actions were okay to do. BabyCakes had a Discord server called Riddlebox, and it linked directly to the VRChat Toybox group. Inside this server, there were significant numbers of minors because there were no rules preventing that. Also, the content that was shared were all explicit in nature, and BabyCakes actively allowed those minors to post real photos of themselves. After taking note of these atrocities, FFI decided to do something about it himself, so he staged a sting operation on VRChat. On April 23, 2025, FFI created an alternate account and joined BabyCakes' Toybox group. You might wonder, how did he manage to get in? Well, it was easy. FFI posed as a 15-year-old girl, which was something BabyCakes couldn't resist. Using a modulator, FFI altered his voice to fit the character he was portraying, and he quickly informed BabyCakes of his age.
Wait, you're turning 16, right?
Yes, very soon.
Okay, sorry, I thought you were 18.
No, sorry.
And like a moth to flame, BabyCakes was instantly drawn to this character. Instead of being a mature adult and breaking off communication, he continued to encourage their interactions. So right there, in the very first discussion, BabyCakes was told that this person was about to turn 16. His response was not to back away or go, "Oh, you're a child, I should probably not be getting close to you." Instead, he got excited that she's turning 16. Already that should be setting off alarm bells. The very next day, April 24th, BabyCakes was preparing to make a call-out video about his ex-girlfriend, and he decided to involve this person he had just met in that process. He asked this person to help him find dirt on his ex, like profile pictures and information. And when they pointed out that they didn't have Discord downloaded, BabyCakes told them about a website specifically designed to steal people's profile pictures.
No. I mean, you could use the Discord ID and then go to that one website that allows you to steal images.
Can you believe that this was a grown adult man teaching someone how to scrape and steal people's online information for the sake of harassment campaigns? And he's doing it on a platform with a bunch of minors paying attention. What responsible adult would act this way? But that's not even the concerning part. That was just a normal Tuesday for BabyCakes. The concerning part comes on April 27th. On this particular day, which happened to be 4 days after FFI first joined the group, everything changed. For the first time, FFI finds himself alone with BabyCakes. There were no other people in the instance. It was just the two of them, and BabyCakes immediately shifted gears. The conversation started gently enough, but it didn't take long before BabyCakes started steering things in a very specific and deliberate direction. He started by asking about Twitter and talking about filters, specifically the filter that hides adult content.
Did you still have the filter on? So you still have the filter on?
What filter?
There's a filter on Twitter that shows you everything. Somewhere in settings.
BabyCakes was basically teaching a minor how to access adult content on Twitter, and then almost immediately after doing this, he dropped his usual line, instructing the young person to not tell anyone about their interaction.
Don't tell anyone, baby. Daddy's trying to help you.
Okay, I won't tell anyone.
This is action. When an adult moves suspiciously with a child and tries to keep things a secret, it essentially means that what they're doing is wrong. In BabyCake's case, it's obvious that he knows what he's doing. He even admitted it in the same breath. He openly said that he had done this to his kids, which is code name for other victims, and there wasn't a hint of remorse in his tone. BabyCakes was aware that what he was doing was downright grooming, and he decided that the reason people called it that was because they just didn't understand him, not because he's actually doing it. In his head, he's the good guy who was helping these kids, and everyone else was just jealous or out to get him, and that was why they were labeling his connections with minors as something evil.
That's what I mean. All they want to do is make me look bad, and all they want to do is ruin my life because they want to try and drive as many people away from me as possible. That's all they do, and it's really annoying.
BabyCakes had said all these things to a child he believed was 15 years old. He had vented about those who criticized him while simultaneously doing the exact thing his critics have accused him of. This has to be some form of delusion. BabyCakes had constructed a mental framework where he was perpetually the victim. Every accusation against him was wrong, and every person who criticized him was part of a hate group. He had built himself a psychological fortress where nothing from the outside world could touch him, because everything from the outside world was, by definition, an attack. FFI maintained his sting operation for weeks. He continued to observe, and there was nothing particularly incriminating until the 15th of May, 2025. This was his final interaction with BabyCakes. The day starts at a daycare, which, as FFI points out, is not unusual for BabyCakes. He apparently liked to hang around in VRChat daycare instances, which is an already deeply concerning feature for a grown man. After leaving the daycare, FFI gets another one-on-one opportunity with BabyCakes, and this time, BabyCakes took things to the next degenerate level. The conversation started with BabyCakes in full daddy mode. He was affectionate and soft-spoken as he told FFI's child avatar how much he loved her, and asked why she hadn't been talking to him. And then, FFI's avatar started talking about her family situation. She claimed that her mother wasn't giving her enough attention, and her father was away at work.
And then my dad, he wanted to spend more time, but then now he's going back to work and stuff, so he's gonna be gone a lot. Right now he's not here.
And BabyCakes took advantage of the situation. by trying to insert himself as the replacement parental figure. FFM's character agreed, and BabyCakes said in his disgustingly soft tone that he would always be there for her.
Well, I'm still here, Bubba. At least you got me, and I'm happy to look after.
I know. And that's why I like being around you.
This move is very predatory in nature. BabyCakes was convinced that the child felt uncertain about her relationship with her father, and therefore tried to position himself as a valuable substitute. Any grown-up listening to this recording would instantly tell the red flags, but not a child who can be easily swayed with sweet words and a gentle tone. And as if that was not bad enough, BabyCakes suddenly brought up an old conversation where he had been guiding her toward adult content, and now he's reminding her of it and making an offer to let her know that the door was still open.
You still want to do that stuff with Daddy?
What stuff?
Remember you asked Daddy you wanted help looking at things?
No, yeah.
Yeah, you still want help?
Can we still do that?
Yeah, we can still do that, baby.
And here comes the naughty part. Like he did with Lunari's case, BabyCakes instinctively told FFA's character that she should keep this interaction a secret. He said this because he was fully aware that he could get cancelled for what he was doing, and he acknowledged it in this following clip.
Don't tell anyone, okay? Daddy doesn't want to get cancelled again.
Yeah.
BabyCakes absolutely knew that what he was doing would be condemned by every normal person who saw it. And here he was, asking a child to protect him from those consequences. The conversation continued to escalate. BabyCakes started asking increasingly explicit questions about what she knew, what she'd seen, and what she wanted to look at. And he framed all of it as help, and a form of education, as if he was just a dad taking care of his little girl.
What does Baby know? What does Baby know about naughty stuff?
I feel like I just know like the normal stuff, like guy and girl stuff that like my mom explained to me.
Did Baby ever look at that stuff on the internet?
Not yet.
For a much clearer context, this was an adult man speaking to a person he believed to be a 15-year-old girl and asking if she wanted him to show her graphic material. And he did this while speaking in a tone of care and protection. And as he kept making these advances, BabyCakes continued to request that she kept their interaction a secret. He even added that if she didn't play it safe, people would attack him, and she would never see him again.
Daddy's happy to help you with stuff, okay?
Yeah.
Because if people find out Daddy's helping you with naughty stuff, they're gonna they're gonna make me go away, and then we don't get to see each other.
This was next level manipulation, and FFI was done with his sting operation. He had gathered enough evidence to pin against BabyCakes and caught him right in the act. The beginning of the end for BabyCakes started when he asked FFI's character if she would like to see some baby stuff, whatever that meant, and instead of responding with the voice modulator, FFI reverted to his real voice and answered BabyCakes seconds later.
I would like to look at baby stuff, Cakes.
BabyCakes' first move, the minute he realized he was caught, is quite embarrassing. Instead of logging off or even getting defensive, he quickly acted as if he had seen through FFI's sting operation the entire time.
Hey, yo! I knew it was you!
No, you didn't.
Yes, I
You wouldn't have said that stuff if you did. Then why'd you say all that stuff?
Which is exactly the point. If BabyCakes knew it was him the whole time, why did he spend weeks with the young girl he posed as? Why did he ask her to keep secrets? And why did he offer to show her graphic content? It was obvious that BabyCakes had been caught red-handed in this situation, and FFI didn't spare him any mercy. But BabyCakes being the thick-headed person, he was refused to back down. He kept circling back to the same defensive questions, asking how and why he would kids, as if that wasn't what he had been doing for weeks.
Why would I them?
You me, bro. You were trying to from when we first were alone, bro. You're saying like, oh, are you into baby stuff? Ooh, what do you think about when you yourself? Why do you think that's appropriate to say to a 15-year-old?
FFI cornered him by questioning everything he had done till that moment. He mentioned how BabyCakes had been whining and playing victims to children, talking about how people wrongfully labeled him a when in the real sense of things he was guilty of that. But BabyCakes wasn't paying attention. In his mind, he was still a victim of circumstance. Instead of admitting his wrongs, he tried to spin the entire situation back on FFY, asking why he had pretended to be a mentally ill child. In his defense, FFY had been the one who made him say those things just because of the mask he had worn. BabyCakes must have realized that he looked dumb for deflecting from the topic, because in the next breath, he sort of surrendered to FFI. Instead of dragging the situation any longer, he told FFI that he had gotten what he wanted.
You're Oh,
You
dude.
got what you wanted now. Well, you got what you wanted now. What?
From his tone, BabyCakes sounded bored and unremorseful. He was treating this confrontation like an inconvenience rather than actual crackdown. He was just irritated that he got caught and he wanted the conversation to end. That tells you everything you need to know about BabyCakes. And his next words truly revealed that deep down he still did not see himself as the bad person.
You like to say you're not a
Nah,
okay, explain to
man.
me how you're not one.
Like I said, you got what you wanted. You're gonna go cause issues and take everything out of proportion.
I'm not causing issues.
BabyCakes' audacity was alarming. He saw FFY's intervention as an issue. There was no sense of self-reflection, and he didn't even promise that he wouldn't repeat his actions again. All that was on his mind was that he was busted for one case, and it wasn't as serious as FFI was making it out to be. In fact, it will shock you to note that BabyCakes made a sick comment about how FFI was wasting his time on him when there were real world.
Bam. There's actually fucking legit rumors out there. I'm not.
Yeah, you.
Problems.
You are. You. I just proved it.
So with such overwhelming evidence, what next? You must be wondering if BabyCakes lost his platform and perhaps faced criminal charges. Well, while that should have been the case, none of those things happened. This is because someone fought to protect BabyCakes. This person was none other than Stitch Bash, the creator of Frenny's Nightclub, one of the more well-known VRChat worlds. Stitch Bash happened to be friends with BabyCakes and was actively promoting his Toy Box group on a server that was open to minors, with no age restrictions whatsoever. 2 days after the confrontation, on May 17th, FFY reached out to Stitch Bash directly through his Discord server. He informed him of two things: that his friend BabyCakes had been caught engaging in predatory behavior, and that he was actively advertising his group on a server accessible to minors. Hey there! I understand you're associated with a group called the Toy Box owned by BabyCakes. I have video proof of him trying to be with me when he is a 32-year-old man. Stitch Bash's response was nothing like FFI expected. Instead of considering the evidence FFI put forward, he became hostile toward him. First of all, he went defensive, asking how he was associated with BabyCakes. Then he deflected by saying he had no control over the situation. He said, "I'm not here to police VRChat or anything else past my own world." But his initial reaction shouldn't have been this hostile. He didn't even call out BabyCakes or condemn the behavior. The first and only thing on his mind was to separate himself from the situation and dispel any rumor that he was friends with BabyCakes. FFI, to his credit, stayed calm and explained that he had reached out hoping that more practical solutions could be met. I'm not saying you two are best friends, but this guy's actions are inexcusable. In order to maintain a safe environment within your community, these kinds of people shouldn't be allowed to be within it. This is a sensible way to handle the situation. If Stick Bash was on board, he could have helped spread awareness about BabyCakes and how he's a hazard to kids, and this would be instrumental in preventing more victims in the long run. Even if he were permanently banned on VRChat, he wouldn't be able to easily operate through multiple alternate accounts once his name had gone viral for the wrong reasons. But instead of seeing reason in this approach, Stick Bash rejected it and backed away for the sake of his ties to BabyCakes. Even when FFI directly sent Stitch Bash video proof of BabyCakes being inappropriate with a young child, he responded by closing the support ticket and banning FFI from his server. He banned the person showing him evidence of child, and then he called FFI the creep. Then shortly after, Stitch Bash made a public announcement about the situation and claimed that FFI was the one who started the inappropriate conversations. Then he excused BabyCakes' behavior by describing him as a friend that has some sort of issue where they do not have a real censor with what they say. Stitch Bash claimed that BabyCakes had said those inappropriate things around children because he was just trying to offer a safe space for everyone. Can you believe that? He called the Toy Box a safe space, when in reality it was a group that a predator had built specifically to funnel vulnerable children into his orbit. It's worth noting here that Stitch Bash had also been running his own server as a 16-plus community. Only after FFI spoke to him did he change the age restriction to 18+, which means that before their conversation, he had also been running a teen-accessible server while actively promoting a known predators group within it. After FFA made a YouTube post about being banned, Stitch Bash made another announcement saying he was taking a break from the community because his friends were leaving and avoiding him. But even then, he still stood up for BabyCakes, stating that he had done nothing wrong. However, this defense didn't last long, because soon after, Stitch Bash quietly deleted his original announcement about FFI, the one where he called BabyCakes his friend. It's possible that he realized that publicly claiming friendship with a verified PDF file was not a great look. After the entire ordeal, BabyCakes got banned. His main account, the Toy Box group, and all his associated alt accounts were taken down on VRChat. But a platform ban is not the end of this story. It might not even be the beginning of the end. BabyCakes had been banned before, after the Lunari incident, but he returned again. You see, when it happened, he had turned on one of his close friends, a user called Admin. Admin had been BabyCakes' right-hand man, and by all accounts, someone who was genuinely close to him for a long time. And at some point, he became one of the people BabyCakes started blaming for his ban. Admin made his own video about this, and he was bitter about how much BabyCakes had been slandering him.
It's the funniest ever that apparently me, his right-hand man, got him banned. But also, it is kind of sad that I had the evidence to prove that I had nothing to do with it, yet he still decided not to believe it.
BabyCakes accused Admin of being the one who got him banned. He spread this around privately to mutual friends, trying to isolate Admin and turn people against him. This tracks completely with what multiple people have said about BabyCakes' behavior. The moment someone in his circle starts having relationships or loyalties that don't run exclusively through him, he perceives it as a threat, and his response is always the same. He'd fabricate evidence, spread rumors, and try to get people to turn against the person he wants to isolate. This was what he continued to do, even after he was removed from VRChat, and perhaps his sense of loneliness led him to upload a sham of an interview on his YouTube channel with someone he claimed was some kind of law enforcement contact. He claimed that this person was a cybersecurity cop who had been investigating online cases across VRChat and similar platforms. Apparently, this official had told him that a report had been filed about him out of Sydney, Australia.
We've been just sort of doing some skimming of sorts. And we got a report from somewhere in Lower Sydney about you.
It's unclear whether this official was a legit person, but the video worked in BabyCakes' favor, and this was a PDF file who had been caught in the act. So it's possible that this interview might have been part of a script, because in a sane setting, a person would get a lawyer and not entertain such an official, or even post their interaction online. FFI also listed the interview as a fake, claiming that BabyCakes was trying to use it to lessen the controversies surrounding his name. He wrote in a YouTube post, "Known VRC predator BabyCakes is now pretending to be law enforcement in a pathetic attempt to disprove my video from a year ago. Keep lying, BabyCakes, and you'll get a part 2. Moving on, instead of ending the call, BabyCakes relaxed and opened up to the official. She quickly established a warm setting by telling him that she thought of him as a nice person.
I've been around you. You seem like a very nice guy. I've put that in the reports that you're a very nice guy. However, there are problems surrounding you that need to be addressed.
You know that in BabyCakes' books, any authority figure who isn't immediately condemning him is an ally. And just like that, BabyCakes quickly and completely dropped his guard the moment he believed he had sympathetic ears. He immediately pivots to attacking FFY and Molly, and cycling through his full roster of enemies. He told the contact,
So all these people just kept false reporting and dumping, and then when you actually look into these people, that's why I made videos on them. When you look into these people, then it's like, oh, you're not a victim, you're just a piece of trying to cover up what you did in false report.
He even tries to use the call as an opportunity to report his own enemies, offering to hand over information on people he claimed had child pornography. He offered names and addresses pulled from public records and volunteered to become an informant, essentially, all while the case against him is supposedly still open. At the end of the day, nothing in the clip absolved him of the fact that he was caught red-handed in FFY's sting operation. It's 2026 now, and he had to go as far as uploading a video claiming that cybersecurity experts didn't hold him accountable for his actions. It's pathetic, and it only leaves questions about what his mental state is truly like. Did he not realize that this situation would have been avoided if children were not involved in any way? But as always, he's too thick to understand his situation, and what everyone tries to warn him about. BabyCakes is still out there. He updates his YouTube channel regularly, and for some reason, he started focusing on conducting interviews with from VRChat as well as their victims. Here's one he titled, An Interview with Navi, and another, An Interview with Looney's Victim. His interview with Lunari, his own victim, is also part of this list, but as you already know, he twisted the facts and created the narrative that Lunari had been paid to frame him. But no one could have framed an innocent person to do this. What innocent person would talk like that to a child? How can you set someone up to catch them saying something like this? The evidence was clear, and BabyCakes was still trying to defend himself. His so-called interview with Lunari is obviously a sham. Maybe he paid Lunari to change the narrative, or maybe he threatened her. But the bottom line is that his interview can't change the truth. Who knows if the other interviews he conducted with and their victims are authentic? Did he remain biased, or did he fight for justice since it had nothing to do with him? We don't have answers for that, but as sad as it is, this coverage makes some people trust him. They trust him enough to join his new Discord page, where they can share their own stories of abuse. I had an incident that happened when I was 6, and they trust him enough to watch his videos. But fair enough, the numbers aren't titanium. BabyCakes might be lurking around VRChat with different alt accounts like he usually does. He could be talking to a child right this very moment. Why? Because the system around him enables it. He hasn't faced criminal penalties for his wrongdoings, and his parents are probably still enabling his behavior.
Entertain. Keep entertaining in this bull. You obviously love the drama.
You think I'm entertaining it?
With people like this surrounding him, who knows how many cases they have willingly shut down for the sake of protecting their precious son. And with this system of support, BabyCakes will forever delude himself into thinking that he never actually did anything wrong.